Today is March 10th, 2026. We're in the 11th day of the war, and a little bit of update for you. So far, what has happened is there's been escalation of the war. The United States and Israel struck desalination plants. They also struck petroleum depots. And what you see here in this photo is this hellish scene where fumes of smoke went up. Let's take a look at this report by CNN talking about the rain that's coming down, toxic rain.
What Tehran is waking up to this morning, the sky above the city is covered in very thick black clouds. You can see that everywhere. What Tehran is waking up to this morning, the sky above the city is covered in very thick black clouds. You can see that everywhere. That's the west of the city over there, and this is the north of the city. Normally, if you look to that direction, you could actually see the Alborz Mountains, but now all of that is also covered in clouds. That comes after major airstrikes in the south and the west of the city happened last night, where oil installations were hit, oil storage facilities. Apparently also a refinery might have been hit as well. And now you can see this morning that the sky is still very dark. We saw thick black plumes of smoke in the sky yesterday. There were massive fires in the south of the city. But I want to show you something else because it's also raining. But you can see that the rain water.
And so what happens now is this rain comes down, this toxic rain comes down on the Iranians thanks to the United States and Israel's chemical warfare. So not only did they kill a bunch of girls in a girls' school, they're now so now this toxic rain is coming down, and it's seeping into the ground. And the Iranians grow stuff in the ground, of course, it's vegetation, and they eat from that vegetation. And now, generations from now even, we're causing cancer among them. So there's going to be cancer and disease. This is sort of like what happened with Vietnam, where we dropped Agent Orange on the population. Now the United States and Israel can always claim that they didn't intend for this to happen, right? The intention was to take out the oil depots. But I think there was an intention there. There's an intention of malice. Now, I'll talk about the two scenarios or three scenarios that I think the Israelis are looking for. They're looking for either total destruction of the country without regime change, just keeping the regime in place and then mow the lawn, or regime change, just keep eroding until there is eventually a regime change, or just keep the current regime intact and sort of come back for a third round or fourth round until they can't take it anymore. And eventually whenever you have ground troops go in, they'll just go in very easily and take over the country. The Trump administration is hinting that this war could end soon. Here's the problem. The Israelis, I heard this morning on the news that the Israelis, some of them say that it will end soon. But also, as I pointed out earlier about something big coming, maybe that's what they mean. We don't know yet. However, also, what we're seeing is the Iranian government and the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, have rejected any ceasefire. They say we will end the war on our terms. So this is different than last time. I think they got it by this point where, what we saw in Gaza, Israel would declare ceasefire and the ceasefire would be agreed to. And as one Palestinian said, what ceasefire means for Israel is that we cease and they fire. And basically that's what the Israelis are intending. If there is another ceasefire, they're going to cease, the Iranians will, and the Israelis will fire whenever they need to. This is why they want to take out their ballistic missiles. So let's go ahead and look at this tweet by Donald Trump that he tweeted out. And the U.S. economy is hurting really bad. I mean, the stock market is down, oil is getting high. The promises that Trump made to the American people are not materializing. So let's go ahead and take look at this tweet. In this tweet, Donald Trump says, if Iran does anything to stop the flow of oil within the Straits of Hormuz, they will be hit by the United States of America 20 times harder than they have been hit thus far. Additionally, we will take out easily destroyable targets that will make it virtually impossible for Iran to ever be built back. But I thought this was done for the Iranian people. I guess not. As a nation again, ever be built back as a nation again, death, fire, and fury will rain upon them. But I hope and pray that it does not happen. This is a gift from the United States of America to China. So what we see here is Trump trying to play nicey with China. Hey, China, look, we're trying to stop what's happening, but it's the Iranians who are stopping the shipment of oil to China. Where, if you go back to all this, it was the United States and Israel that attacked Iran a second time during negotiations. It's very tactically stupid, is the best way I could put it. And all those nations that heavily use the Hormuz Straits. Hopefully, it is a gesture that will be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your attention on this matter, President Trump. All right. So what we see here in this tweet is Trump trying basically to justify the closing of the Straits of Hormuz. Now, Hormuz has already been closed. 90% of the traffic is not getting through, which means that about 10% is. The other day, I think it was Monday on Fox, they said that a ship got through. Later on, we found out that the ship only had corn on it. So there goes that, right? All right, so Pentagon Pete is also spewing his stupidity and telling us about the tactical victories that are taking place and not telling us what the strategy is. Now, we know the targets and the goals of this war keep changing. First, it was nuclear. First, it was nuclear weapons and downgrading the uranium they can enrich. And then it was ballistic missiles and proxies. Now, Marco Rubio, as you could see here, just added the Iranian Navy. So now it's the Iranian Navy is the reason.
The goals of this mission are clear, and it's important to continue to remind the American people of why it is that the greatest military in the history of the world is engaged in this operation. It is to destroy the ability of this regime to launch missiles, both by destroying their missiles and their launchers, destroy the factories that make these missiles, and destroy their Navy. I think we are all seeing right now the threat that this clerical regime poses to the region and to the world. They are trying to hold the world hostage. They are
I know that this war will increase. I've been monitoring the Israeli media. Israel has increased its defense spending budget by $13 billion. Their cabinet approved that. They also have, like, the emergency sort of situation they're in. The emergency situation has been updated to or pushed back to March 26th. So at least we know until March 26th they're going to continue this war. So it will continue to March 26th. But here's the problem is also that's about 2 weeks from now. That goes along with what Lindsay was saying and what Netanyahu was saying. There's a big surprise coming. That's what I'm afraid of. What is the surprise? Is it going to be a pager-like attack on the Iranian high command? Or is it going to be using something, God forbid, a tactical nuke?
It's going to fall, and when it falls, we're going to have peace like no other time. We're going to have prosperity unlike anyone could ever imagine. Peace brings prosperity. You can't do it by talking. The Democrats criticize this operation. They didn't do a damn thing. These men and women in the military.
All right, that's all I have for you. Thank you for listening to the Game of Nations podcast. I'll be back tomorrow to discuss further what's going on. And please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.